hockey renaissance in D.C. is almost a decade old, but the franchise is still searching for that elusive prize. And missing the playoffs for the first time in 7 seasons was not an option.
We need to get back to being totally focused on one goal. And that's winning a Stanley Cup.
I think at the end of the year, we had a fractured group.
Let's bring in a fresh voice, a fresh set of eyes.
In looking to change the culture inside the locker room, the choice quickly became clear.
Well, the Capitals' search for a head coach may be coming to a close. According to one report, Barry Trotz is, quote, a done deal.
He gets the most out of his players. We need that here.
We knew that Barry would be the most sought-after individual.
He was a hockey guy. He was committed. He was dedicated. He was a hard worker. He's all the things that I like in a hockey guy.
I get to do what I love to do every day, so it never feels like work.
Always got to be dependable. Always that's going to be your bread and butter, right?
I guess that would include tough love, too, right?
There is going to be some of that along the way. That's for sure.
Get our hunt skills on. Hunt these guys down. Hunt them down.
There's a saying I put outside our door. It's a privilege to walk in that door because guys are breaking bones for each other.
To All Access Barry Trotz. I'm Jill Sorensen. For 17 years, Barry Trotz ran the Nashville Predators. Born and raised in Manitoba, Trotz never made it to the NHL as a player, but he did make his way as a scout for the Caps and as a college and minor league coach because of a blueprint based on his upbringing. Now, as the 17th head coach in Caps history, Barry Trotz brings that blueprint to a team poised to finally take the next step. Coming up, we'll give you an exclusive look into Barry Trotz's life and philosophy, which isn't just confined to the ice. It's behind the bench, on the practice rink, and at home with his own family of 6.
Awesome. Good job. Good job, buddy.
When we come back, we'll start back on day 1 of training camp when the philosophy and message were delivered in a big way.
It was a test. They found out that they got a different level.
Yeah.
And they're tougher than they think they are.
This is All Access Barry Trotz.
Welcome to DC, Surge.
I think I'm a hard-working person that you know, is a family guy that likes detail, and I want to do something special here in Washington.
You might ask, what's the philosophy of Barry Trotz?
Nothing's going to be given to you. You can go out and earn it. You got to create the love in the group so that the fact that they can have success, that they care about each other. When you care about something or love something, that's the biggest bond you can have. If anybody's part of the team, I always look at them as the extension of my family.
That is the basis for how Barry Trotz approaches the game of hockey and how he's approaching his new job with the Capitals. Over the summer, Barry Trotz and his staff met here at Kettler just about every day to prepare for their upcoming training camp with their new team. With only 2 days of practice before their first preseason game, there was no time to mess around and ease into things. So day 1, players found out what Barry Trotz was all about.
This was one of, if not the hardest day 1 I've experienced. They set the bar high, and it's not like we're easing into it. It's from day 1.
I think it was fun to watch the skating tests.
Guys respect him wanting us to work.
You know, it seems like he's going to demand a lot, which is, you know, when guys make a lot of money, they make a lot of money for this game, he should demand a lot.
A tone was set. It looks to me like they came in good shape because they knew something like this was going to happen.
They found out that they got a different level.
Yeah.
And they're tougher than they think they are.
That's what we need. We need that foundation of work ethic, and you got to work smart, and you got to have some structure, and those things are all important too, but it all goes to waste if you don't have that blue-collar work ethic.
While Trotz is trying to bring blue collar back to the big city, he's dealing with a larger media contingent than he was used to in Nashville. And without the history of 17-year relationships with reporters, trust must be built. But from the moment he was hired, he got inundated with questions about how he will work with Alex Ovechkin.
It gets a little bit trying because it wasn't really fair to Alex. I mean, you know, one of the things that, you know, Alex is a little bit of a lightning rod because he's such a great player. You always judge about, you know, the great players in the league, you know, how do they get along. I think my relationship with Alex is just starting. It wasn't really fair sometimes. You know, how are you going to do this? I can't say because we're just, you know, we're just starting a date. You know.
Just courting him.
Yeah. I mean, really, we don't know each other that well, but I think you'll find that my best interests are always the players. What's in the best interest for that player? Sometimes it's tough love. And honestly, guys, it's naturally, I want to do this, I want to do that. Sometimes you have to get outside your comfort zone and expand your life a little bit and change.
Just put your stick like a defenseman right on the ground. Okay. So he's got to make a play around you. It'll help you buy some time.
Alex has been awesome. He really has. I mean, I've heard different stories, and I said perception's reality, and I was at times I'm saying, oh boy, this is going to be a real tough. I don't believe that at all. I believe I'm just going to be straightforward with them and not just do the right thing with the player. I mean, the player just wants at the end of the day be honest with them and do the right thing.
Barry Trotz's career has come full circle as he began life in the NHL as a tryout for the Washington Capitals in 1982.
He was just a hard-working player, a little bit of an underdog, if you will. Jack Button, who was our director of player personnel, really liked Barry.
I went up to Mr. Button. I saw Mr. Poyle. I didn't know Mr. Poyle at the time. And I said, you know, Mr. Button, just want to, you know, Barry Trotz. He goes, I know who the hell you are. You know, I invited you. And that's how Jack used to talk to you. And I said, well, Mr. Button, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to have me come to camp. And I won't disappoint you. I'll make it real hard for you to try to get rid of me. And he looked me in the eye and he says, you know, the only reason that you're here is you might be a good minor league leader or coach someday. Well, at 19, that's probably not what you wanted to hear.
Barry didn't make it as a player, and we actually cut him at training camp. But Jack Button had the foresight to see in Barry, you know, the potential of, you know, scouting and coaching.
Poyle hired Trotz as a scout for the Caps, and at the same time, Trotz began his coaching career at his alma mater, the University of Manitoba. That led to Poyle promoting Trotz to head coach of the Caps minor league affiliate in Baltimore and then Portland. And when Poyle went to Nashville, he brought Trotz with him as his first head coach of the Predators.
He was a hockey guy. He was committed. He was dedicated. He was a hard worker. He's all the things that I like in a hockey guy.
It was really my end to getting to where I am today, and if it wasn't for Jack Button and David Poyle and the Caps organization, I don't know what I'd do. I'd probably be coaching. I probably wouldn't be coaching professionally. I'd be coaching kids. I'd be doing whatever. I don't know. But they gave me an opportunity, and I've been very blessed to get to do what I've done for so long.
When you think back to sort of the early years in your coaching career, what kind of coach did you think at that time that you would be?
The funny thing is that you know, when I first started coaching, I think everybody had that, you know, it's my way or the highway type of thing, and you tried to control everybody. I think that's the inexperience of coaching or even management or whatever, is that you try to control everybody, and you actually stifle people. And I tried to control everybody. I was in their face. I was probably very confrontational, and I thought I knew everything. And the funny thing is now that I'm a lot older and I've been in the league a long time, and that is I really, and I apologize to all the players early in my career when I coached, because I said I thought I knew everything and I knew nothing.
His messages to players have evolved.
How many neutral zone turnovers do we want?
Coach said to us after a second, turnovers is going to kill us.
We had a couple turnovers in the neutral zone.
Simple plays, guys. Casual plays. Casual plays.
We make simple plays. We play great.
And while the game of hockey remains a constant, family life in D.C. has brought big changes.
So I'm driving, and I'm thinking, okay, well, how am I going to make it through this a little bit? I know I'm going to be emotional because there's all these feelings. So I'm driving and down 65, and I almost go off the road. There's a big billboard with "Thank you, Barry Trotz." That says it all. With that, thank you, Nashville Predators.
For the first time in their lives, Barry and Kim are living hundreds of miles away from 3 of their children who remain in Nashville.
My oldest is she's in advertising and PR in Nashville. She's wonderful. She's the oldest, but she's sort of the mother of the group. My oldest son Ty is just finishing up in Swanee, University of the South. He's taking a double major. He's doing Russian and history. Wow. And he's an old soul. My youngest daughter is very, very fortunate. She's working in Nashville, and she's a cosmetologist and stylist, and she's been sort of mentored by Carrie Underwood's stylist, and she's 19, and she's got some really high-end clients and stuff, and she's doing really good. She's got the knack for it.
Their youngest son, 13-year-old Nolan, is dealing with the big move as well.
See your shot. Shoot. Oh, look at that.
Oh, that was awesome. Nolan was born with Down syndrome, and Barry likes to say that extra chromosome is the love gene.
He doesn't have a bad or mean bone in his body. He's all pure love and pure trust. He has to trust us and anybody who talks to him, because he has a little bit of trouble maybe understanding. He understands a lot more than you think. When you find out you have someone of special needs, you just worry that he's going to be okay. Good job. You're hitting him now. Yeah. Our normal with I think kids or family members with disabilities. Now, how can you not love that face? I mean, seriously, he's awesome. We got lots of bugs, don't we? But our normal is not everybody else's normal. Like, at 13, we're he's getting into puberty. How do you explain those issues versus someone who doesn't have a disability? You just want the best for your children. And all right.
We all struggle for this work-life balance. How does this guy do it?
He's very organized. Nothing rattles him. And Kim, honestly, is a huge help. Actually, Kim's in charge. Kim's in charge. I should say that right. Kim handles a good chunk of it.
She's really the rock in our family. She does a lot of stuff. She was my grade 4 sweetheart. When I first discovered girls, she was my sweetheart, and she didn't know I was alive. And then I guess I might have had a good run the next 2 years where I grew up a little bit, and later on we started dating, and then we've been pretty well together for over 30 years now, and she's wonderful.
Mitch tells me she's in charge.
There's a lot of guys, so they think they're in charge. We talk big in a locker room and in the office that we're in charge, but we all know better.
One of the many things that Kim handles is Nolan's schooling. The first month was tough.
We started school, and things are not going as well as we'd like them to go. And it's not necessarily it's not the teacher's fault. She's overwhelmed with the number of people that she has with disabilities. So, but it's a little more the bureaucracy that's the time,
While Barry was getting his work done on the ice in the preseason, Kim was dealing with that bureaucracy, meeting with the school board, the principal, anyone who could help improve the learning conditions in Nolan's special ed class. And together, along with a team of people, the school board, the school counselor, the teacher, they all got that work done because Nolan's class got an additional teacher and an aide, which meant more individual attention for everyone in the class. Through their involvement in the community, you could say we didn't just get a new hockey coach here in D.C. We got a family who's committed to being connected with its community.
Closer, buddy. Feels like he's on an island. He needs some dad time.
He needs like a little dad time right now. How can you tell?
It's Kim. My wife does everything. She really does. I'm not around that much in the winter, but you know, it's just like anything. He wants to see Dad. He wants to see his brothers and sisters. And he was having a rough day on that particular day, and my wife, you know, says, "Can you come down?" You know, after the game, she texted me, and I just saw it on my phone, and because he's having a rough day, and so he was having a rough day, and I had a press conference to go to, so I just took him, and it was good. It was he allows me to separate sort of church and state, if you will. I got a great job, and I know what we have to do, and it's intense, and you get criticized for losses or anything, wins even, and when you're in this business, and I think what it does is put focus on, you know, what's more important. You know, if it was more important, job or Nolan, that's an easy choice for me. So. And there's no harm. I think there's a human side to it. He sat there. He was great. He got a little dad time. He got to smile. Everybody was looking at him.
Yeah.
And
that stole the show. I mean, to be honest.
He did. But he needed that. You talk about self-esteem. He went from having a really bad day to feeling pretty good about himself. So, you know,
That's awesome.
it's positive. Really good job.
The values that the Trotz family live by at home lay the foundation for the character and integrity that Coach Trotz expects here at the rink as well. And it starts with his blue-collar upbringing and, of course, family.
I came from a small farming town and hardworking, and you know, I value skill a lot. You know, I don't want to always be blue-collar, but if skill doesn't work, it always gets beat. I mean, it does. I mean, you got to have a balance. I mean, there's, you know, but great. No one wants to coach average. Anybody can coach average. Anybody can be average. It's easy to be average. I don't want to be average. I want to be great.
We come from Canada, smaller towns, and you know, our fathers are working class people, and our mothers actually worked. My mother worked in a factory too. I think you establish a work ethic. I think you have an independent mind because of it, because of the way you've come up through the world and work your way through things. You handle problems and you work on. You know, you move on.
Well, my parents grew up, so I don't kind of know any different. My dad worked hard all his life, and my mom worked hard enough for very little, you know, and then they gave everything to us. And I think it's great. I mean, that's how it should be. I should be a hard-working team. It should be, like I said, you get paid a lot of money to do this. You should be, at least you can expect us to do is hard work. And we work hard and outwork teams. And, you know, our team would be successful because what we have in here is pretty exciting for me, and that's what, you know, if we bring the hard work, it's going to be really good.
A lot of credit. It starts with the Caps. I saw, you know, I worked with David Poyle for a long time, and he's always brought that. I think that's just my family values too. That I think that, you know, blood is thicker than water. I mean, a good example of that just in my coaching staff. I think Mitch Gorn was was thinking about retirement, and when I got the job here, I said, Mitch, I need you for one more ride here, and Mitch phoned me, he said, I'm in.
Creating a family environment is something that he's done a phenomenal job of in Nashville, and I can already see the makings of it here in Washington. So it's certainly a fun place to come to work, and something where families are a real important priority, making sure that we take care of everything at home and then come to the rink and take care of our work here as well.
You know, the wives too and kids, and you know, it's important that everybody's comfortable and has that unity together, because, you know, when we get into playoffs and stuff, everybody's got to be happy that, you know, wives need to be able to let their men go to the rink and do their job and no distractions, and having that family sort of mentality really brings everybody together, and we're all on the same page. So I think it's very important, and, you know, I've never seen it before come from a coach, and I think it'll make a difference, a big difference.
I'm pretty certain that no one will mistake the family atmosphere for being soft either, because he's not. I think more than anything, it creates an atmosphere of caring. So when someone does do or say something that you may not like, you understand that maybe it is for your own good and not with another motive in mind.
There's a saying I put outside our door. It's a privilege to walk in that door, because guys are breaking bones for each other. They're blocking shots. They're taking care of each other. It's a privilege to walk in that room and say you're a part of that.
Welcome back. You've seen how important family is to Barry Trotz, both on and off the ice. You've seen his passion for teaching and for the game, and his compassion for people, plus his competitive nature. Now, as we wrap up All Access Barry Trotz, here's what an NHL game looks and sounds like from the perspective of Barry Trotz.
Find that seam. Find that little seam, boys. Track, that's the way. Attaboy, Greeny. We're hunting. Win those little races. Spread them out.
Washington controls another draw. Ovechkin fires and scores! A laser upstairs.
Good job, you guys. Good patience. Attaboy, Harvey. Becky. Brooks. Great job back there. Keep that puck alive. Did that one to ourselves. We did that to ourselves. Stay on the pile, Jimmer. Stay on the pile. Stay on the pile. Hold the middle. Lay all those bodies in there, boys. Lots. Got to make sure and those pucks. Always got to be dependable, though. Always got. That's going to be your bread and butter, right? Be dependable. You're getting outworked here. You're getting outworked. Want to play easy. Get up there. Get up there.
Boston will take it and take a 2-goal cushion to the final 3 minutes of the second period.
Move it. Back to the net. Traffic. Get on him. Ah.
There he just set up Latta for a slam dunk. Washington gets on the board.
Simple plays, guys. Casual plays. We haven't really worked on 4-on-4. But what we do is we dog the puck. All right? We don't, if a guy wants to look you off, don't spin. That gives him too much space. We dog the puck. Okay? Dog the puck and get off, you know, and then make the switch, all right? How many neutral zone turnovers do we want? Just put your stick like a defenseman right on the ground. So he's got to make a play around you. It'll help you, buy you some time. If he tries to pass it, you're going to deflect a lot of times, okay? A little tip there, all right?
I was afraid she was going to take a shot.
Yeah.
So I just got
center, and that's where Mike Green will operate. Green on a lengthy lead. Chimera's in alone. Chimera hits the point. Jason Chimera almost finished it.
And it all starts with great puck possession.
Brouwer fires and scores! Off the turnover, Washington wins.
I'm a detail guy in terms of the structure guy, the way we play. And I think players want structure. Structure leads them to a good plan, and a good plan leads them to wins. And wins usually can take you deep in the playoffs and hopefully win the Stanley Cup someday.